The men's road race, one of the cycling events at the 2012 Olympic Games in London, took place on 28 July at 10 a.m. in central and southwest London and North Surrey. Starting and finishing on the Mall.Samuel Sánchez of Spain would have been the defending champion, but due to an injury incurred at the 2012 Tour de France he could not compete. It was anticipated over 1 million people would line the route, a record for an Olympic event, if reached.The race was won by Kazakhstan's Alexander Vinokourov. He sprinted clear of Colombia's Rigoberto Urán, who claimed the silver medal. Alexander Kristoff of Norway won the sprint from the following group to take bronze. Qualification. The top 10 ranked countries in the final regular standings of the 2011 UCI World Tour qualified to have 5 riders to represent their respective country in the race. The nations with 5-man squads were Spain, Belgium, Italy, Australia, Great Britain, Germany, Netherlands, United States and Switzerland. Although Luxembourg placed 9th in the rankings, their roster was reduced to 2 men. Of the other nations on the World Tour, France and Denmark had 4 riders, Norway and Ireland 3, Kazakhstan 2 and Slovakia, Costa Rica and Latvia 1 rider each. The top 6 countries on the UCI Europe Tour, Slovenia, Russia, Portugal, Poland, Turkey, and Belarus, in addition to Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil. The UCI America Tour top 3, UCI Asia Tour leaders Iran and UCI Africa Tour leaders Morocco, had 3 riders. The remaining nations in the race were represented by either 2 or 1 rider. There were a total of 144 participants. Pre-race favorites. The 2011 World Road Race champion, Mark Cavendish of Great Britain, was considered the favorite for the race, although his chances were likely dependent on whether the race ended in a sprint finish. Cavendish was expected to be greatly assisted by his 4-man British team, which he labelled his dream team prior to the race and regarded by some as the finest road race team to ever compete in the Olympics, with 4 out of the 5 riders having won a stage at the 2012 Tour de France. The British team included the duo of Bradley Wiggins, who won the 2012 Tour de France, and Chris Froome, who finished 2nd in the 2012 Tour de France and 2011 Vuelta of España, and who would go on to win the following year's Tour de France. The 5-man team also included Ian Stannard and 2012 Tour de France stage winner David Miller, who was team captain. Tom Boonen of Belgium, Australia's Matthew Goss, Andre Greipel of Germany were also tipped as potential winners. Other sprinters tipped for medals included Tour de France points classification winner Peter Sagan of Slovakia and Edvald Boasson-Hagen of Norway, but both riders had perceived weaker teams than those of Great Britain, Belgium, and Germany. If the race was to have ended in a sprint finish, Sagan and Boonen were tipped for victory, along with other classic specialists such as Fabian Cancellara of Switzerland, the silver medalist in 2008, and Felipe Gilbert of Belgium. The defending champion, Samuel Sánchez of Spain, did not enter the race due to an injury suffered at the 2012 Tour de France. Course. The race was 250 kilometers, 155.3 mi, long and began with a mass start. Crowds were bolstered by free entry for 150 kilometers of the 250 kilometers route, recent British success in the 2012 Tour de France, and the possibility of the host nation winning its first gold medal of the 2012 Olympics through Mark Cavendish. Originally 3,500 paid tickets were made available for the grandstand area on Box Hill, where the cyclists would undertake 9 laps, but due to demand this was increased to 15,000. Start list and final classification. The entry list was published on 23 July. In the table below, St. indicates that the rider crossed the finish line in the same group as the cyclist before him and was therefore credited with the same finishing time. Overtime limit, OTL. Under UCI regulations for one-day road races, Article 2.3.039, any rider finishing in a time exceeding that of the winner by more than 5% shall not be placed. Applying this to the winning time of Alexander Vinokourov resulted in a time limit of 6 hours, 3 minutes and 14 seconds. References